want to walk through two grip options for the cut fastball. The first one is essentially just an off-centered four-seam. So you'll start just like your normal four-seam grip. Instead of the horseshoe being on the outside, I'm going to have you flip it over so that the horseshoe is on the inside part of the ball. Because of the way the laces come down towards the index finger, it's going to make it a little bit easier to cut this pitch. From here, you're going to slightly turn the ball inwards to get an off-centered grip. So for me being left-handed, that's going to look just like this. Fingertips right on top of the seams, and we can see that I am off-centered going across the seams slightly. And that's going to allow me, when I rip through this pitch, to get a little bit of bullet spin on the ball so I can get it to move glove side. The second grip option is going to be right here. So basically similar to a curveball grip really, but instead of being way up here like this, you're going to slide further back so you're more going across this seam here, middle finger on the seam, and you're going to rip through the outside part of the ball to still get that same bullet spin. Having these two dots on the ball can be really helpful when you're playing catch to visualize it and to make sure that it's actually spinning the way you want to. So when you throw this pitch, for a cutter that has a little bit more lift on it and not as much drop, you're going to want this dot to be slightly facing you. So if this is pure four seam here, you want that dot to be slightly turned here. So as a left-hander, I'm going to be able to see that dot here as I throw it, and my partner will be seeing it on this side of the ball. As a righty, the dot will be here for me, the dot will be here for my partner. The more that dot starts to turn towards me, the more bullet spin and the more gyro I'm going to get, and that's likely going to kill depth on the pitch and have it hovering closer to that 0 inches of vertical break, 0 inches of horizontal if it was absolutely perfect pure bullet. Most guys don't need it to have that pure bullet. If you're looking for more of a real traditional cut fastball that is still really firm, has a little bit of glove side movement, but also has a little bit of carry to it, you're going to want that to be just off-centered. So for that, depending on your skill level and your ability to cut the pitch, that will determine how strong of a grip it is if you are using the first option. So for me, I can naturally cut the ball pretty easily, so I don't need I don't need to off-center this grip a whole lot. I can honestly get pretty close to just a regular four-seam grip with the horseshoe on the inside part of the ball with maybe just a slight turn or even just a slight cue of trying to cut this pitch so that I keep that aggressive mindset. I'm still trying to throw it hard and just trying to get it a little bit of action at the end. If you have a harder time creating the cut, you're probably going to want to turn that ball a little bit more in your hand, and it might look closer to something like this, to where you are hugging this seam, the fingertips are going over the top, and you can really rip through the outside part of the ball and through those seams. So play with it to figure out what works for you and also determine what type of a cut fastball you're wanting. If you're wanting more of a traditional cutter or if you're wanting more of a gyro slider, that will be determined by the grip as well as that dot position. So just a reminder, the more that dot faces you, the more gyro spin you're getting and the more depth you're going to get on the pitch and likely going to slow down the velocity as well.